Thank you. Chairman Barrasso, Ranking Member Carper, and members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to appear today and address the surface transportation investment needs faced by our country. My name is Carlos Braceras, and I serve as the Executive Director of the Utah Department of Transportation and as the President of the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, AASHTO. And it's my honor today to represent both the great state of Utah and AASHTO, which represents all 50 states plus the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico. State DOTs have an utmost appreciation for your committee's leadership to shepherd the FAST Act in December of 2015. This legislation has ensured stability in the federally supported passenger rail, freight, safety, highway, and transit programs through 2020. To further build on the federal surface transportation solid foundation, we believe that it's now time for all transportation stakeholders led by Congress and the President to begin work on reauthorizing the FAST Act and to ensure a smooth transition to the next long-term bill without the need for disrupted extensions. AASHTO has already initiated earlier this year an extensive 18-month effort to develop and present our reauthorization policy recommendations this next October. The FAST Act reauthorization gets underway. As the FAST Act reauthorization gets underway, we recommend that federal funds continue being provided through the existing formula-based structure directly to states rather than looking at untested approaches that will require more time and oversight. Building on the federally funded state-administered highway program established over a century ago, federal investment in all modes of transportation have allowed states and their local partners to fund a wide range of projects that serve the interest of the nation as a whole. Formula funds work because they serve all corners of our country, improving mobility and the quality of life in urban, suburban, and rural areas. Even with the FAST Act, however, the investment backlog for transportation infrastructure continues to increase, reaching $836 billion for highways and bridges, $122 billion for transit, and the percentage of federal investment in transportation and water infrastructure has declined substantially from almost 6% of total federal spending in the 1960s to only 2.5% by 2017. While federal investment has lagged, states have stepped up in the meantime to fill the gap, with 31 states successfully enacting state-level transportation packages since 2012. In Utah, our legislature recently adopted a state fuel tax and indexed both the fuel tax and registration fee to keep pace with inflation. Also, we're going to be the second state in the nation to implement a road usage charge program. But efforts by Utah and other states to fund the system ourselves are not enough. The federal government must step up its share of investment, and it will not be easy. Just to keep our current FAST Act funding levels, Congress has to find $90 billion in additional revenue for a 5-year bill, or $114 billion for a 6-year bill. At the same time, the purchasing power of the trust fund revenues has declined substantially due to the flat per-gallon motor fuel taxes that have not been adjusted since 1993, losing half of their value over the last quarter century. That means the federal highway programs are expected to experience a 51% drop after the FAST Act in 2021, and the federal transit programs would have to be zeroed out in 21 and 22. In the past, similar shortfalls situations have led to cuts in federal reimbursements to states on existing obligations, leading to serious cash flow problems for states and resulting in project delays. Simply put, this is a devastating scenario that we must do all we can to avoid. In addition, the FAST Act included a $7.6 billion rescission of unobligated highway contract authority to take place in 2020. This is a budget artifice that disrupts transportation planning and timely delivery of projects. The cumulative effect of rescissions, with over $22 billion enacted since 2002, can wipe out the entire balance of contract authority held by states, which will lead to hard funding cuts to dollars promised under the FAST Act. We must take advantage of the short window that we have right now to head off the dual threat of a funding cliff and a rescission in 2020. If we miss this opportunity for action, the extremely costly and disruptive scenario for transportation programs around the country will become all but inevitable. State DOTs remain committed to assisting Congress in the development of policies that will ensure long-term economic growth and enhance quality of life. You can be fully assured that AASHTO and the state DOTs will continue advocating for the reaffirmation of a strong federal-state partnership to address our surface transportation investment needs. I want to thank you for the opportunity to testify today, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.